welcome. My name is Natalie Wilson, and today I will be showing you how to solve and plot linear equations. First off, what is a linear equation? It is an equation that makes a straight line when you plot it or place it onto a graph. It is often written in the form of y equals mx plus b. In order to understand this formula, you will need to know what each part stands for. The y stands for the y point of an ordered pair. M stands for slope. Slope will show you how steep your line is going to be. X stands for the x point of your ordered pair. And B stands for your y-intercept. Your y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So now I will show you how to solve linear equations. The first problem we have is 3x plus 4y equals 8. When you see a problem like this, it is called standard form. So what I want to do is change it from standard form to slope-intercept form, or y equals mx plus b. The first step that we need to do is get the 4y by itself. So I want to move 3x over here with the 8. In order to do that, we need to do the opposite of its sign. So here we have a positive 3x, so we want to do a negative 3x. And whatever we do on this side, we want to do on the other side. So I'm going to put over here a negative 3x. So now we have positive 3x minus 3x, which would give you 0. So I'm going to cross it out. And now it's over here. So I'm going to rewrite our new equation to be 4y equals, and I'm going to put this negative 3x first. So negative 3x, and since this is a positive 8, plus 8. So our next step is to get y by itself. In order to do that, we need to get the 4 to be on the other side of the equal sign. So in order to do that, we got to do its opposite. So here it's multiplying. So the opposite of multiplication would be division. So we're going to divide 4. And whatever we do on this side, we want to do on this side. So we're going to put divide 4 and divide 4. So now 4 divided by 4 would give us this 1. So I'm going to cross it out because now it's just a 1. And then I'm going to come over here, and this would become a decimal, but I don't want it to be a decimal. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Now we're going to come over to this one, and 4 can go into 8 2 times. So this would change into a 2. So I'm going to rewrite my equation now. So now we have y, because we don't need to write the 1, equals negative 3/4, so 3/4 x plus 2. So this would be our new equation. So we went from standard form all the way to slope-intercept form, or y equals mx plus b. Let's say you were given 2 ordered pairs, and we're told to put them in slope-intercept form. So here we have 3, 7, and 5, 11. So the first thing you want to do is find the slope. So in order to find the slope, you will need to use the formula m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. To determine what numbers is going to be our y2 and our y1, or our x2 and our x1, I'm going to label the ordered pairs. Since 3 and 7 is our first ordered pair, they will be our x1 and our y1. So the first number will always be x, So this will be our x1. And the second number will always be y. So this is our y1. So now we're going to come over here. And this is our second ordered pair. So this will be x2. And this would be y2. Now that we have our ordered pairs labeled, we can now plug them into our formula. So the first one we're going to look at is our y2 and our y1. So we're going to come over here and we're going to look. 11 will be our y2 because it's the second ordered pair. And we're going to do minus because we're going to subtract. And we're going to come over here and we have our 7 as our y1. So we're going to put 7. Now we're going to divide. We're going to put a little divide sign here. And we're going to look for our x2 and our x1. 5 is our x2, and we're going to be subtracting. And 3 is our x1. So now we have 11 minus 7 over 5 minus 3. So now we're going to start subtracting. We're going to start with the top one. So 11 minus 7 would give us 4. So we're going to put 4. Now we're going to put a little divide sign. And now we're going to come down to the bottom and we got 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 gives us 2. So now we have 4 over 2. Now, most likely we're going to simplify this. So we're going to simplify it, which means we're going to divide until it becomes the smallest number it possibly can. So for here, 2 can go into 4 2 times. So that means our new slope, so our m, is going to be 2. Now that we found our m, we need to start looking for our b. So in order to do that, we're going to use this formula here. This is our point slope form. So we have y minus y1 equaling m, open parentheses, x minus x1, close parentheses. So all we're going to do is we're going to plug in the numbers. So we're going to come back to here. So we're going to have y minus, and I like to use little numbers, so we're going to use our 3 and our 7. So for our y1, I'm going to plug in 7. Then we got our equal, and our m, remember our m is 2 because that's how we found our slope. So we're going to put 2. Then we're going to do open parentheses x minus, and the 3 will be our x1, so we're going to plug in 3, close parentheses. So now we have y minus 7 equals 2, open parentheses, x minus 3, close parentheses. The next step that we want to do is distribute, which means we want to multiply the 2 with all the numbers or variables that are inside the parentheses. So I'm going to draw my little arrows because they help me to remember where the numbers are going. So these are my arrows. This helps me remember how to distribute. So the first set of numbers we're going to do is 2 and x. So this one's pretty easy because in front of this would be a 1. So I'm going to rewrite the first part to make it easy on my part. So 2 times 1 is just going to give us 2. So we're going to take 2x because we're going to bring the letter with us. And then now we're going to do the second part. So 2 times negative 3, and 2 times negative 3 is going to give us a negative 6. Now it's going to be a negative because a negative and a positive gives you a negative. So now this is our new equation right here, but we're still not done. We need to get y by itself. In order to do that, we need to have this 7 come over here and join this 6. Now we're not going to have it join the 2 because it doesn't have an x with it. Only numbers that have the same variable, so the same letter, can be combined together. And since the 7 and the 6 don't have a variable, they can be combined. So here we have a -7, so we want to do the opposite. So the opposite of a negative is a positive, so we're going to do +7, and we're going to do +7. So now we have y equals 2x. Now we have a -6 plus 7, which is going to give us a +1. Now it's +1 because if you were to take 7 and you were to remove 6 of it, so say we have 7 cookies and you ate 6 of them, you're only going to have 1 cookie left. So that's why that is 1. And since 7 is bigger, the answer is going to take the bigger number. So that's why it's a positive. So now we have it in y equals mx plus b, or slope-intercept form. So now that you know how to solve a linear equation, I'm going to show you how to plot or place them onto a graph. So I'm going to use one of our previous examples. So I'm going to use this one here. So y equals 2x plus 1. That's the example that I'm going to use to show you to plot on the graph. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to start with our b. So our b is our y-intercept. So that is where the line is going to cross the y-axis. So here, our b is 1. So I'm going to go to our origin, or 0, 0, because that is our starting point, and I'm going to go up 1. And I'm going to plot a point. Now I'm going to move on to our slope. Our slope here, or our m, is 2. Now for slope, it has to be in the form of rise over run. So currently we only have one number. So I'm going to add our division sign here and put a 1. So now we have 2 over 1, which is the same thing as 2. So now we have our rise over run. Think of it as when you're learning to walk. You have to first rise, so stand up, before you can run or start walking. So that's what we're going to do. So now we're here at 1, and we're going to rise 2. So 1, 2, and we're going to run 1. So now we're going to go over 1. Now I'm going to plot a point. And I'm going to do that one more time. So I'm going to rise 2, 1, 2. Now we're at 5, and we're going to go over 1. So we should be at 5 and 2, or 2 and 5. And now I'm going to draw my line. Notice that our line is going up because we read from left to right. So our line is going up, meaning that our slope is positive. If our slope was to go down, so here I have my little sheet right here. So if the slope is positive, it's going to go up because we read from left to right. It's going to go up. If our slope is negative, it's going to go down. If our slope is 0, it's just going to go from left to right. It's not going to go up or down. It's just going to go left to right. And if it has a no slope, meaning it doesn't have a slope whatsoever, it's going to go up and down, but in a straight line. So it's going to be vertical. So 0 slope would be horizontal or on the horizon, so left to right. And no slope would be vertical, so it'd be up and down.